All right, so I'm super excited to speak to you. I know you finished your chapter, and we spoke a little bit about what your chapter is about, which is super exciting. It's something I've never read before or even like thought of before. So it's a really exciting concept and idea to wrap your mind around. So that's really cool. And maybe you can share a little bit about that later. But first, I want to know from you, what was it like doing and writing your chapter? What was that writing experience like for you?
It was so much better than I don't know what I would even compare it to. But it just took on a life of its own, and I think I read later after I'd finished it. I think I noticed a blog that you had written about things you had wished you'd known before you wrote your first book, and I thought, oh, I'll read that. And then I was surprised because, yeah, I felt like one of your points was that it writes you as much as you write it. And I felt that, and I was not expecting that at all because I just kind of had a clear idea of what it was I wanted to talk about. Um, and in the process of writing it, it has given me a lot of ideas of information I want to share with others and in multiple different ways, some in written form, some in spoken form, some in um, performance form. And so it was really helpful. And I think I couldn't have come at a better time. The timing, I mean, honestly, Ameera, I told you, I think, that I asked you how you found me. And I think I told you that I had been thinking about writing a book. So I was just like flabbergasted when I got your request because, like, did she just hear me? Did she? I haven't said this out loud to anybody but my partner. And so, yeah, I just don't know what else I could say. If you have questions about that.
Yeah, I mean, you're not the first, and you definitely won't be the last to say, be like, you just popped out of air. You just popped out of thin air. You heard my thoughts and you manifested. And it's truly because I follow the guidance, right? And that's kind of what you have to do when you're writing. You need to follow that guidance, and you need to be so blinders on, just follow that guidance no matter how weird or crazy it may seem. And a lot of you guys are QHHT practitioners, which is super exciting because I do QHHT session when I'm getting the names, right? Which is almost like pulling them out of the ethers. And it took such a long time for me to get to a point where I can follow that guidance without question, without like a doubt, without being like, maybe I'm not, this is not right, or I don't trust what I'm getting.
That's amazing. That's just amazing. I love that you used that tool for yourself because I hear what you're saying. The more you trust it, the more true information you get.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I think I'm experiencing a lot of that about that right now. In
Yes.
fact, I think that's one of the themes that I want to explore. And I'm calling it resonance because I have a music background, and there's some play there with what we also know as frequency of other vibration. But there's just like it was a perfect match when you reached
Yes.
out. And I mean, honestly, like my inner critic is like, you better watch out because this is what you wanted. You're going to be gullible.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, but she's real. She's a real person, and this is really amazing. And her Near Death Institute publishing is this is
It's real.
I'm
Yeah.
just so thankful that you found me. Um, so, anyways, I forgot what
Oh,
we were
that's so
talking about.
kind. That is so beautiful. And it's exactly I think in a way reflective of your chapter because you in this description of this other life, you were a giver and receiver of messages. That is trust. Is that not trust? That's the ultimate trust. You are giving and receiving of these messages that are coming and going through you. Ultimately, the person on the other end, or the being in the other end, or whatever it is fully trusting this message, and you are fully trusting in the writing of these messages. So it's all reflective of the same thing, no matter how you
Yes.
look at it, through which uh
Yeah.
facet or through which perspective, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It in a way, this past life probably jumped out because it had to do with writing, and I was searching. I really wanted to illuminate some themes in my clients' sessions that I've already been kind of looking at, and vibration and resonance have a lot to do with the themes I'm looking at. So I wasn't thinking about my experiences, but this one really stood out as for some reason it just kept yelling out, and I decided that then we'll go with this one. And since the diamond is writing, maybe it's a message to me, as everything is reflecting back to itself. Maybe it's my chosen time. I really need to bring messages out into the world right now. So I'm going to follow that.
100%. And also the diamond itself, right? Because what a diamond has multiple facets, it's got many faces, it's reflective, it's pure. I once heard someone describe it as carbon in the most boring of sequences. Because it's the CH. And it's like everything about it from a human perspective, it's so valuable, it's so rare, it's so wonderful if you have it. And yet I'm thinking from that perspective where you were this huge chunk of it, it's like there was an abundance of it, I'm assuming. It's not just one little one and you need to dig and you need to find it and people are going to fight over it. It's like an abundance of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's super fascinating.
And after, at some point since having that session, I must have been recounting it to someone who told me that while diamonds are a rarity on Earth, in the universe, they're abundant. And I had no idea. So there's an element of that being a reality elsewhere where we definitely have no, we have never been. And yes, the the sense I got from that volcano that houses the diamonds is just eternal supply. There's just as much as you need, whatever you want. Just
Yeah,
ask for it.
I've heard
Yeah.
from others who've had near-death experiences and type of projection experiences like out of body or things like that. There are certain places, and I don't know if what realms they are in, but different places in different planets where it's just gems and it's just diamonds and there are caves of them and you can go in this cave and it's completely filled with these glittering gems and diamonds just sticking out. You'll find them in the ground and they are everywhere. And it's like, I can believe that. I mean, there's of everything you can imagine. So I can imagine there to be a place like that. Wouldn't that be cool?
Absolutely. Oh yeah. And going back to that idea of the what you mentioned about the facets,
Yeah.
there's just so many facets, right? As you were saying that, a new thought just dropped in, and I think this kind of was resonating already, but hadn't completely crystallized, so to speak. That this perfect diamond with all these facets is also, it's as if it's a satellite transmission or receiver of every, like a 360-degree in every multi three dimensional way that it can pick up on messages coming from everywhere and also sent out in such a, it's a simplistic way of receiving and giving because it's connected, because it's facing every single direction.
Yeah. And also, I'm not sure because I'm not techie like that, but there is also something within its substance. And I'm not sure what it is again because diamond is just carbon, but there's something within its substance that amplifies frequency too. Like people use diamonds for within technology, within motherboards, and I don't know, somebody with more techie knowledge will be able to say exactly how it works and why it works. But I know that they use diamonds within technology to amplify certain things. I'm assuming frequencies.
Hmm.
But it's definitely a thing for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also, I mean, amazingly, it's the hardest um,
Substance.
substance, right?
Yeah.
And it's used to cut other things that are known to be like quite hard.
Yeah.
And
Only diamond can cut diamond, by the way.
yeah.
Yeah.
And how amazing is that? I mean, diamond cutting diamond. So, I mean, this thing that I embodied also is so hard. And that actually kind of resonated with the idea of how neutral my emotions were in that life.
Mm.
I think you were asking me, how does it feel? And so was the editor asking me, how do you feel? I'm like, well, I guess I can talk about how I don't feel anything.
Yes.
There's something very odd about this. It's very cold. But I mean, it, it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean anything. It's just like a total zeroed out feeling because it's not a human having an embodied human experience.
I think a good way of saying would be detached from emotion. Because,
Detached.
yes, because
Yeah.
humans, we have a lot of emotions and then we attach to them and then we identify with these emotions.
Yeah.
But this this diamond, I guess there was no need to attach to any emotions. If you think about it,
Right.
like I don't see why a diamond would want to be sad, you know.
Right, yeah. And what is it? It's also symbolic of there is it unity? Is that what it's symbolic of? And
I think so.
I think that's yeah, and it's just so interesting. It has so many applications from a
Yes.
metaphysical point of view too.
Yes, and it's super cool. Because again, here it's like if you get a piece of diamond, it's wow. And you were one, like a giant one. And you had this amazing, wonderful purpose that served beings with a positive intention. And it's like you wouldn't imagine something inanimate to have a function and a consciousness, yet it was so, and it is so.
Mm. Mm.
So it makes me think, wow, I wonder if diamonds have a consciousness, which I know they do, in this life. And what are they
Hmm.
doing? And what are their purposes? Like, is it just to be in this pair of earrings and go to this show or whatever? Like, I don't know, you know?
Uh-huh.
It would be nice
Yeah,
to
yeah.
hear their thoughts.
The thoughts of a diamond. I have no idea. And it's funny, I've never had any real I love crystals. There's a lot of crystals that I'm just really taken by. I always wear this is one of my favorites. And it's here. But I don't know if the light's catching it just right, but it's a Larimar. And
Oh, it's
um
beautiful.
it just feels so sweet. I've never been attracted to diamonds,
Mm.
ever, and so it's kind of stands out. And I wonder if it's just that, like, well, been there, done that, and I want to explore other crystals now.
Mm.
um, anyway, it's my
Yeah,
fun
I
part.
love crystals too. Crystals, gems, anything shiny, but it's more because of the shininess and the colors and how they are reflecting and the light bouncing off of it and how it sparkles and shines in the light. That is more what attracts me. So I will be just as attracted to a fake diamond as I am to a real one. Like it's not about the diamond itself, it's about how
Yeah.
it looks like and how the light captures it, like how my eyes are just focused on how the light is bouncing around, and that's the more exciting bit. So I like it for that reason. And that's also
Cool.
another way to the light coming in and how the light works within it to reflect. That's another theme for that diamond too. Not
Mm,
just physical light, but the light of the light with like the big T, you know.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's powerful. That's very powerful.
Yeah. So what was your favorite or the thing that stood out most about writing for you? What was it that made you be like, I am actually a writer. I know that. I feel that.
Mm. I think it was after getting the first pass down. I got the nuts and bolts of the story, and then Kezia had recommended a couple of things because I asked her, am I on the right track here? What do I need? Because I haven't written in this format before, and she gave me some ideas. So I played with that. Opening up, I think, Ameera, you also actually made some suggestions about opening up some of the senses. How does it feel? All these things. And it was funny because as you were doing these, making these recommendations to me, I'm noticing how similar they are to how I get my clients to move through a scene in a QHHT session, and how much information I'm digging for by asking certain questions. And those were the same questions I felt like you guys were asking me to fill out. That was surprising. I thought those were things were already kind of reflexive happening in my, mental, in my subconscious already, and I guess they weren't. So it helped me connect parts of myself to amplify the story. And once I started doing that, I realized that there's more depth that I can give to the experience by just going deeper into those questions. Those questions unlock. It's not the questions themselves. It's not how do you feel being this. It's when I get there, it helps me unlock more visual phenomena that I can describe in writing. And that may have been the key for me, is understanding how to describe the phenomena, whether it's visual or felt, or how like the motion of the experience of movement was. Because that's, as my medium in the past creatively has been sound. My whole career before I went into QHHT, I was for 25 years, I've been a musician, and I don't do writing. Other than I've done academic writing before, but that's not the same. So it helped reroute pathways, I think, that were already kind of latent. They've been used for other vehicles for sound, and I think that's so empowering. It helps make me feel centered in a new way that I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting any of this to feel better, to make me feel better, So that's been also a really great takeaway, that maybe sharing stories is a feel-good mechanism as well.
That's really cool. So, how is being a musician similar to being a writer? Are there some things that are similar for you?
Definitely. I'm good at first. I'm just not, I don't want to make mistakes here because I mean, I'm deeply practiced in music. I am not deeply practiced in writing, unless I guess everybody's who went through schooling had to study writing, but not as a specific medium of expression in that way. So I know some things about it, but it's not the same. So I have to think only from a creative point of view, right? And from a creative point of view, to equalize the experiences that you're asking me to compare, I feel like it's tapping a different part of my brain where with music. So I should also say, as an instrumentalist, I don't work with words, and I don't even hear words when I'm listening to songs, Ameera. I don't even hear the words. So it's a kind of powerful thing to start working with words in such a creative way, or expressive way, maybe a descriptive way. So it's making my brain do something that it hasn't needed to do. It's been lazy. Maybe it's been good for it to open that part up. And you know what, Ameera? I was just telling my partner, because he laughs all the time. I don't know the words to songs, and I'll just be humming along. He's like, the song's about such and such, and I'm like, what? And so, anyway, a couple weeks ago, I was in the car and I heard 3 songs in a row, and I heard the words. I heard the words, and these are just pop songs I've heard a bunch of times, and I couldn't believe the words. I'm like, oh, that's what this song's about. Oh, that's what this song's about, and it's so silly. but silly because out of nowhere, now I'm hearing these words and it's takes on a different meaning. So I guess in a way, this is helping me reframe a lot of things in a different way.
Yeah.
It's taking on another layer of meaning.
Yes. And I think it's adding to you in the sense where, like you said, you actually hearing the words now, where it's not like it was a problem that you didn't before, but it's an added layer, like you say. There's more to it now, and you are more evolved in a sense because of it. You are more expanded because of it. And that's wonderful. If there's anything I would love for new writers is to feel more expanded from the process. I
Mm.
love writing, obviously. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't. But finding someone who has who's falling in love with writing, for the first time, or who's newly expanded because of it, it's exciting for me. That's good. That's really
Oh,
good.
that's great.
Yeah,
And
I love
you've
it.
been writing for a long time.
I've been
That's
a writer since I was a kid. I remember my dad, do you remember when we just got computers like in the early 2000s or something, and they had the big back on it, and they were kind of like this off-white yellowish color, and they had the click-clack keyboards, and we didn't have much on it. We had Word and we had Pinball and we had Paint. Do you remember the Paint thing?
yeah.
And I didn't have a very good relationship with my grandmother, my dad's mother, and she would infuriate me every single day. And I would go to the computer and I would open up WordPad and I would type a bunch of mean things about her. Oh, I hate her and she's so mean and why is she doing this and why does she say these mean things to me? And I would change the font into the one that was the little squiggles. It used to be little like a little house and a little squill line and different kind of almost like hieroglyphics, but not quite. And I would just type because I knew that no one would decipher it. Well, obviously, you could just change the font and you'll figure it all out. But, I was a kid back then. I didn't think like that. And I found that writing took all those feelings out of me and it didn't make me feel like I was going to explode. It's like, oh, I can get it out of me and put it on this other medium that's going to hold it and house it for me. And then it just happened from there, and then stories started developing, and it wasn't so much about writing angry memos about how my grand was so mean to me. It was more about like, oh, I can imagine things, I can think of stories, I can share things, you know um I can write anything I want. I can write anything I
Mm.
want. I can write it down. So, and then, at school, I enjoyed writing too. I always won prizes for my creative writing and things like that. But I didn't know that I was going to be doing it professionally as, doing something within writing. For my lifetime, I thought I was going to go into a different career. I studied BCom. I studied teaching. I was a teacher for a long time teaching maths and science. So, and I'm good at that too. I love that too, but it wasn't as creative for me as writing is. So, yeah, it's always exciting for me when someone looks at it from a new point of view and goes, "Oh, it's not so boring after all. I think I'm gonna stick to it." And so that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've just never really thought about it as an outlet. And I know so many people do. The Artist's Way, the morning pages. You must, yeah. I did that when I was at a big crossroads when I finished school and was embarking on my career. And it was also at the same moment of my spiritual awakening. So there was a big hiccup in what's next. And I stopped doing everything so I could think about it for a while. And the morning pages helped for a while. But it didn't have a lasting effect of me it didn't like engender any kind of love for writing. It felt more like an assignment that I gave myself, and a helpful assignment. It really did help something. So maybe this is kind of a part two process of like discovering the joy, like that there's something fun to do in the process of writing as well. It doesn't have to be a chore.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you say, again, the theme of layers is coming to me because even for me, it started out as this thing as a kid, it's an outlet. And then it becomes something like, oh, this is enjoyable. It's exciting. You can write stories and people can read them and give feedback or whatever. And then, when I had my awakening, and I started studying near death experiences, and when I was like speaking to people who had them. Now back in the day we didn't have Zoom and stuff, we used Skype, and we would Skype, and I would Skype with them, and we would talk about the NDEs, and I would write for them. It became that. And then after that, it became like, oh, instead of just short stories and blogs, I could do actual books. And then it became books. And then it became, well, instead of having one perspective in a book, it was again, like you said, you used the word assignment. The assignments came to me to gather people to have multiple perspectives in one book. So it's continuously evolving and layers are being added from my own perspective, that is. And we'll see in future how it evolves, and what it becomes. I don't know. But it's exciting because again, there's so many different mediums and different modes of writing and different ways of expressing. And everyone, if once you see the book, you'll see how different everyone's style of writing is and how differently the ideas are communicated when they start writing it down. And even for myself, if I write something, it comes out differently than if I'm doing a voice memo with a voice to text type memo. It comes out
Mm.
differently. There's a different kind of feel behind those words than if I just write it purely like fingers to keyboard thing. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just a nerd, but for me, that's like the nuances in it make it exciting for me.
Well, that's cool. So, I mean, that's also great because you see some threads. Yeah, I think those
Yeah.
nuances for you make a cohesive uh,
Yeah.
book. The total is
Yeah.
part of that. The little nuances make up the whole part. The whole.
Yes. And I'm super excited
Yeah.
for our book. I'm excited for you to read everyone else's chapter. I'm excited for everyone to read
Yeah.
our book. The ebook
Yeah.
will be out on May 26th. The pre-order will be delivered. It's out on pre-order right now. So I'm going to put the links in the description. Please,
Great.
everyone, go get your pre-order. It's only 99 cents. It's 99 cents. Please go buy it. It's a super cool book. You're going to love it. You're going to enjoy it. It's got so many perspectives of reincarnation. There's some NDEs in there. There is perspectives on past life regressions, life between life sessions, many different perspectives coming together to give guidance and information and real life experience about the soul's journey, which I think we can all learn from.
For
So yeah,
sure.
go ahead, go get it. I'm going to put the link in there in the description. And yeah, I look forward to everyone getting it.
Yay!
Yay! Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today, Jen. I hope we'll speak to each other again soon. Maybe on the authors panel, we can chit chat more about you, the diamond, Jen, the shiny diamond.
Absolutely. Yay! Jen the Diamond. I
Wonderful.
love it.
Well, thank you so much, and I'll speak to you soon.
Okay. Take care. Bye bye.